Hello, Catherine Foley is my name, and I'm going to read from my book Beyond the Breakwater. And today's chapter is chapter 26, Summer Songs, even though it's raining outside, but it'll remind us of the summer. The songs of the McGarrigles wafted out from the Yellow House all during the hot days in Rinn in the summer of 1976. These Canadian sisters were singer-songwriters who often sang about swimming. When I did the backstroke and the butterfly and the old Australian crawl. They sang about leaving and bidding farewell. They sang about the blues. Never having had the blues from whence I came, but in New York State I caught 'em. And their pure voices wrapped themselves around my heart, like a wheel out in mid-ocean. Our cousin Donald Musgrave and his family came on holiday to Rinn that year. He, his wife Shirley, and their two children, Katie and Dara, rented the Yellow House, which stood overlooking the cove and was perched at the very edge of the cliff. Even as we lolled on the grass on the slope underneath the Yellow House and looked down onto the stony inlet of the cove which nestles under Helvig Head, we could hear the McGarrigles singing, and from the start I loved their songs. The house, the Yellow House, was a former hunting lodge belonging to the Villiers Stewart family. It dated back to the 18th century. It was said to be haunted. But the Musgraves weren't afraid of any ghosts. No matter how many warnings, big-eyed glances we'd give them, they settled in happily, braving those rooms we found cold and creepy. They never seemed to notice the chill you'd feel when you stood for a moment in a corner. They were planning to stay for a month. On arrival, they draped their togs along the banisters of the minstrels' gallery and put all their Wellingtons and fishing rods, their buckets and spades, along the wall near the wainscoting. They were our sophisticated city cousins, and all through that summer of 1976, when I heard the McGarrigles playing on their stereo, my breath caught in my throat, and I stood rooted to the spot, looking out over the deep green depths of the little stony strand beneath, listening to the plaintive notes of "Go, leave, don't come back. No more am I for the taking. But I can't say that my heart's not aching. It's breaking in two." I had come of age listening to the sean-nós and all the great songs of loneliness, loss and deportation, such as Na Connery's Sliabh Galgoo and A Chummerig Evening O. But that summer the McGarrigles blew like a fresh summer breeze across my bow, and I was buoyed up and rocked away over the waves to a bright sunlit place where I could be 16 and trembling fresh and new. They helped me find my own voice. Their harmonies wedded themselves to my ear. The pitch and timbre of their voices matched my own exactly. I bought my own tape and wore it out listening to them. My mother loved the light, airy swing of Foolish You. "Sing that for me," she'd say, and away I'd go like Kate and Anna McGarrigle, singing with my heart until my voice caught as I reached a top note. "Foolish you, you won't go away, seeking fortune's favour on your own, while the one who stays behind you, foolish me, is left alone." I filled our kitchen with the cool summer sounds of their songs until they became part of our repertoire. Sisters like us, who were like interlocking pieces in the jigsaw puzzle of life, as one of their songs described. "Talk to Me of Mendocino" was so strange and ethereal sounding. Where was Mendocino? I hardly know, but it cast a spell. like my town, which told of someone who had to leave and head south where the climate is kind, or go leave, and its description of a heart that was breaking in two. It was the instruments they played that beguiled as much as their voices. There was a banjo, cymbals, a tambourine, a harmonium, a mandolin, and a melodeon. As they drew out those long notes like a piece of string, those old-fashioned instruments resonated and harkened back to years before, when my father had played the melodeon, or the tremolo of my mother's plucking when she picked out the notes of the croppé boy on her mandolin. I loved the harmonies of the McGarrigles, their swerving changes of key, and their notes that dipped and rose like rearing horses. Now, the McGarrigles sounded like they came from a family who sang old-fashioned hymns and parlour songs and gathered around an organ in the wilds of Quebec. Such pathos and such words in both English and French held me in thrall. Their singing sounded unbounded and raw, and implicit in their songs and the way they sang them was the story of their own flight from home to find their feet. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk again soon. Bye for now. Thanks.